evening and welcome to yet another episode of the Health and Wellness Show. My name is Chabet Birir, and as usual, this is where we inform you, we empower you and inspire you to take full control of your health and live your best life. Now today we are talking about cervical cancer, the causes, the treatment options and prevention. And with me on set, I have an oncologist, I have a caregiver, and I have somebody who is undergoing treatment for cervical cancer. Now, the reason why we are having this topic is because cervical cancer is the second most prevalent cancer in Kenya after breast cancer, and Dr. Shafi will explain that better to us. And it is preventable. So despite it being preventable, we have about 2,300 women dying every year in Kenya due to cervical cancer. So we want to understand why this happens and also understand the nitty-gritties of cervical cancer and how it can be prevented. So karibuni sana to the show. I'd let you introduce yourselves right from Daktari here, and then we'll end with Veronica.
Good evening. My name is Afrin Shafi, and I'm a gynecologic oncologist. Basically, I'm a doctor who treats, diagnoses women's cancer, women's reproductive tract cancers.
Karibu sana to the show.
Asante.
Silas, karibu.
Asante. Kwa majina naitwa Silas. I'm a husband, I'm also a widow, I'm a father of two. And I'm privileged to be in this place, at least to share from my point of view on a caregiver space, on how it takes to live with a person who is undergoing treatment in cancer.
Asante sana.
Cervical cancer.
And please accept our deep condolences, of course, for losing your wife in November last year.
Asante.
And we hope that you are comforted, and even while you're comforted, you advocate for preventive measures for cervical cancer. Karibu once again to the show, and thank you for coming.
Asante.
Last but not least, we have Veronica.
I'm Veronica Wanjiko. Niko ada treatment for cervical cancer and ovarian cancer. Yeah, and a mother of two.
Karibu sana, Veronica.
Asante.
And now I want us to start with you. First, thank you so much for being brave and bold and courageous to just come on the show and share insights about cervical cancer. And we do hope that for sure you will be treated and cured, because it is possible, right, Dr. Ari?
It is.
It is. So please tell us, how did it start? Like, how did you know that you have cervical and ovarian cancer?
First of all, nilikuwa natoa discharge. Ilikuwa clear, no smell, hakuna kitu ilikuwa nini. Then after there nikawa discharge ya inatoka damu. Nikaambiwa ni naitangwa fibroids. Wanasema ni fibroids. Yeah. Nikaenda theater, they remove my ovary. Sina ovary moja ya light. Then wakadiscover nini fibroids ni cancer. Ilikuwa imekula ovary moja yote ikaisha. Then ikaenda cervical cancer. Ikaenda cervical. Then ovary ilikuwa stage 3 C1 ovary. Then cervical ilikuwa stage 1B1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Na hii ni mwaka gani, and how ulifeel aje vile uliambiwa uko na cancer?
Ilikuwa hard kwangu ku accept. Nilisikia kama nimegongwa tu kiboko kingine ngumu sana kwangu. Nilikuwa burden nyingine ngumu. I'm still young. Ilikuwa 2022. Yeah.
Okay. So you are still, how old were you in 2022?
30. Yeah.
So ikakuwa, hiyo journey ilikuwa aje after diagnosis?
Ilikuwa ngumu kwangu ku accept kwanza. Ilikuwa ngumu. Ndio nilikaa 1 month kwa nyumba. Nilikuwa in stigma. Sitaki mtu yote kuniongelesha manini. In denial bado. Sitaki mtu aniambie niko na cancer. Nilikataa hiyo kitu na nikakaa kwa nyumba. After some few weeks nikapiga Kenyatta hospital. Nikawaelezea juu MRI inasema niko na cancer, but ni ile hii ya kuswipe inasema niko negative. Sina cancer yote. Sasa hapa niko na changanyikiwa kidogo. But nikajipatia college, niko na mtoto. Niko na 13 years daughter. Sasa nikajiona nikimwacha akiwa bado ni mdogo, bado mimi ni young mother. Nikajoka kwa hiyo kiatu yake, nikimwacha ata survive aje. Nikaamua nikajichukua mimi mwenyewe nikaenda Kenyatta. Mimi alone hakuna mtu niliongelesha hata mmoja. I find a good doctor, wakaniongelesha. Tukafanya biopsy, ikatokelezea ni cancer. Then wakatukana nayo ajana na wao polepole. Nikaenda counseling. Then from there nikaanza treatment. Yeah.
Okay. Again, thank you for being brave. Ukajipeleka, ukatritiwa. Utatueleza how the treatment journey has been, but wacha tusikize Silas. Journey yenu na your wife ilianza aje?
Pole sana. God is in control. I know it's a journey, but yes. Keep fighting.
I will.
Our journey began in 2017 when she had some discomfort, the same as Veronica might explain. So tukaenda tukona daktari, then the doctor akatuambia tufanye biopsy, then it came positive. So during that time alisema I can't remember the information. I think we were so much ignorant in terms of getting the best information, because the only thing they did walitoa the uterus, then akatuambia atakuwa sawa. So as the years progress, she started having some health condition complications. So as the journey tukakuja back in the year 2024 is when akaanza ku experience the blood spot, hizo vitu kama hizo. So she thought it was something to do with the gynecologic issue. So we went to Mpisha, tukona daktari, then Dr. Sang, after doing the analysis akatutuma, we did the test, then when the test came, it looked like cancerous. Okay. So akaturefer to Dr. Musau. So that is where we started the journey. It was tough, and from the lady points of view, Naza share the same sentiments. That's what my wife Ali feel. She was so discouraged. Alikuwa shocked. And now it comes with the issue of stigmatization, how the society wanna view, because the society will always judge you based on your past, but they will not see what is happening in their life currently. So it was a journey, it was a tough one, and we thank God that during that season of time when God alitupatia, we already built enough strength to overcome it, because it was not easy. Because at the end of the day, I came to realize that when it comes to the issue of cancer, inabaki ni nyinyi wawili. The society is there to see, but at the end of the day, you have to work on a way to fight it. Okay. It's a journey. Then after we did the chemo, we started the journey with Dr. Musau at Mpisha. Then after that, tukamaza chemo, then she did the after chemo radio. Then tukakaa tu vizuri. Then towards the end of 2025 hapo mwezi wa 10 ndo akaanza tena kukana that discomfort, akaanza kuwa na blood clot tunaona. So and alikuwa na pia na issues za complications za health yake. We were in and out of hospital most of the time. So during one particular time in Nakuru, so I had to inform her that due to whatever you are undergoing, why don't you consult an oncologist who will come and see you. So we had Dr. Wanda who came, and she requested for histology and everything. Then we were given an opportunity to go to do the PET scan, which is very expensive. I think the government has to do a lot to at least to make it more accessible. Yes. And also the equipment should be countrywide, so that people can be enabled, diagnosis can be done earlier. So I think we took around 3 months or 4 months before everything we could get the results. So that has been our journey. Okay. Yeah, until now, the last time when she rested. Okay. It was tough, but thank God she was a fighter. Yeah. Indeed,
she was a fighter, and I've seen some of the videos that you have shared on WhatsApp. And
yeah, she was really a fighter, because we are coming. I came to learn something that you cannot pour something that you have not filled. You cannot pour if you are empty. So she had a lot of love that she built within herself, which gave a lot of stamina to fight it, because she was so focused, and she knew that these things I have to fight it. And also the people who are around, the friends who are around, were encouraging her that you're able to do it. She was so positive. But given the complications and everything that remains at the end of it, she said God has the final say. But I think from what people people have said about her, she was really a fighter.
She was a
warrior.
fighter.
Yeah.
So she fought a good fight.
She fought a good
I
fight.
hope you take courage in that.
Yeah, I took courage. I take courage in that. At least I'm also encouraged. Though sometimes you feel a little bit lonely,
yes,
which is always a normal thing. But at least we did our best as a person.
Sure?
And also coming from a point of view of a caregiver, it was not easy.
It was not easy, but you also are a fighter. You know, many people, it is common and it is easier to take off when your wife has been diagnosed with cancer.
Yeah,
it's the easiest way to take. But thank you for choosing that route and taking care of your wife to her last breath. Now we'll come back to both your stories, Veronica and Silas. But let's listen to Dr. Afrin on, first of all, the causes. I know we've talked about this before on the show, but it's still very important to still inform our viewers on the causes of cervical cancer. Is it preventable? Is it treatable? Dr. Karibu.
Asante, and thank you so much, Silas and Veronica, and for being brave enough to come here and talk about that. I know it's very difficult, and it has been, I'm sure it's been a very difficult journey for the both of you. Coming back to cervical cancer, why it's something that totally breaks our hearts as oncologists and even as a people is because it is one of the few cancers that is almost 100% preventable. Yet we see our women die every single day. In fact, currently the statistics, what they stand is we lose 9 women to this cancer in Kenya every single day, which is very, very unfortunate. Globally, if you look at the statistics, as per the WHO, every 2 minutes a woman dies from this cancer. And majority of these deaths that we see are based in sub-Saharan Africa, mainly Eastern and Southern Africa. Yet, again, I emphasize and cannot emphasize more how preventable this cancer is. And most of what this cancer is caused by is a virus. Majority, over 90% of these causes are due to a virus known as the human papilloma virus. So before I go into the very details, I'll keep it very simple for everyone.
Yes.
So there are many, many strains, but there are up to 14 to 15 strains that we call as high risk. Now when a woman gets infected by these strains, she can eventually develop cervical cancer. But the transition period from the time she develops to the time she acquires the virus to the time she develops cancer can be a few years to even 10 to 15 years. And that is why we say screening, and vaccination. So these are the two very good preventive strategies. Basically, when we talk about vaccination, we talk about all girls and boys should be vaccinated ideally. But in Kenya and other countries like Kenya, unfortunately, our resources get limited, and so we're not able to provide vaccination to the boys. So we target mainly girls, and we target girls from the age of 9 to 14 years, and then we do catch-up vaccines from 15 to 26 years. And currently, even one dose of the vaccine is sufficient for girls aged 9 to 14 years. Okay. The good thing is at least now, and even previously, we've had access to these vaccinations in all the public hospitals. These vaccines are offered at no cost. For sure. They're free of charge.
And we'll talk about why, despite them free of charge, there's a very low turnout for the vaccinations. And of course, that is where we will debunk the myths and misconceptions about HPV. But first, please tell us, what are the telltale signs of cervical cancer? How do you know that this could be cervical cancer?
So most of the time, cervical cancer is asymptomatic, meaning there are no symptoms. Usually, particularly in early stages, women will have no symptoms or signs. HPV is a silent virus. So that is why when we screen, at least we're able to pick it up early. Yes, the other signs that women would present with commonly are bleeding. And bleeding usually during intercourse, after intercourse, bleeding in between your menses or heavy menstrual bleeding, or even women who are postmenopausal can have bleeding. So any bleeding that a woman is having that is outside her menses, it's not normally her menses, routinely the way she presents, then that bleeding needs to get checked.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's now go back to Veronica. Umesema then maisha yako ilibadilika after ukaanza treatment. So utasema what exactly ilikufanya? Umesema you had a child. You have 2 children.
Yeah, 2 children.
ulipata wa pili after diagnosis ama before? Wote before diagnosis ama after?
Mmoja nilipata kitamba kuna 13 years. The second one nilipata nikiwa under treatment.
Wow.
Ya nikiendelea na chemo, nikamaliza chemo 6 cycles. When nikienda sasa radiotherapy ndio discover niko na mtoto. Niko na mimba ya 6 months.
Okay.
Sasa kuanzia hapo nilifanya sasa nisiendelee na radiotherapy, ni continue with chemo hadi nipate mtoto.
Okay. Na daktari atatueleza kama it's possible to conceive while undergoing treatment and what are the risks associated with that. But tueleze maisha yako ilibadilika vipi after diagnosis na umeanza treatment? What changed?
Sasa kwanza kitu ya kwanza na familia members wengine wanakuachilia. My most caregiver alikuwa mamangu, alikuwa ina na mimi hakuniachilia hata kidogo. Finances pia ilikuwa difficult kwetu pia. Ukienda kwa street kuomba pesa ama watu kwa group wanasema wewe si mgonjwa, because mimi ungesema niko mgonjwa. Nikaambia Mungu siwezi kaa mimi ni mgonjwa, lazima nijipatie nguvu juu ya mtoto wangu. Siku nataka ajue mamake anaendelea kwa difficult thing ama ako in any situation. Juu bado ni mtoto wa msichana, ndio wenye wanakuanga na ile feelings za mamangu anaendelea aje sasa. Na siku nataka nimpatie stress kwa bado ni mdogo.
So ukumwambia?
Sikumwambia. Ilikuwa tu under treatment, nikienda chemo nikikuja niko very weak. Siku nataka ananiambia mama kwani kuna shida? Akaambia hapana. Hiyo dawa nimewekwa ndio naifanya ni acha tu ni relax kidogo nilale takuwa sawa. Lakini eventually nilikaa chini nikamuongelesha. Nikamwambia niko hivi na hivi but na kwa Mungu najua yote yawezekana. I be healed na nitakuwa na wewe bumper to bumper sitakuachilia. Then nikaenda process ya kuomba pesa nini watu unajua watu wanaongeanga vibaya. Tukienda kwa pesa za kwenda hosi. Wanasema then venye wali discover niko na mimba. Sasa hiyo ndio ilikuwa worst kwangu sasa.
Utatuelezea hiyo. Sasa endelea na familia mchango ni society.
Waka discover niko na mimba. Sasa hapo ndio walipaka rumors. Hiyo si ugonjwa. Hiyo ni mimba ilikuwa inamsumbua. But nilikuwa na keep on. Sikutaka mtu ananipatia negative nini. Doctor manini. Nilikuwa na keep on na fight na maisha yangu. Because nilikuwa na daktari mwingine alikuwa mzuri, alikuwa ananishika mkono kama mtoto wake. Alikuwa ananiambia Veronica ukisikia hivi, itokee side nyingine. Usisikize mambo ya watu. Juu watu ndio wanafanyanga ukua depressed. Na sikusikiza hata kidogo. Niendelea na maisha yangu, wakaniacha. Home kwetu wakaniachilia. Hata sasa nipiga simu niko naenda tu Kenyatta. Hiyo kosa ndio safi niombe mtu hawezi nipatia. Lazima ni manage mimi mwenyewe na mama yangu tu manage hiyo kazi yote.
Okay.
But I thank God niko strong bado.
For sure uko strong
kabisa.
Na tunashukuru Mungu. Na Silas, asante Veronica. Tutarudi kwako. Silas, maisha yenu how did it change now? This is your wife.
Wow.
This is your wife and this is cervical cancer. How did your life change as a couple?
As a couple, maisha yetu ama just the general?
Start with you as a couple.
As a couple.
And then general.
As a couple, it was tough because this somebody umekuwa nayo, you have kids with her and now you are seeing the condition yenye yuko nayo. So I was so confused as a human being and sometimes I experience a lot of depression. Few people won't realize that I'm depressed, but nilikuwa na experience depression because even personal upkeep was a problem. And juggling between job, taking care of the sick person was not easy. And because you are now the main person, unapigiwa simu unaulizwa mgonjwa anaendeleaje, how is she? And also now you have the kids. You have to explain to them that their mother is sick. You have to balance between the job. You also balance checking on the kids, how they are doing in school. Sometimes mtoto anakuambia. Kuna time my son aliniambia, nilimuuliza why you're not performing well in school. Akaniambia daddy ukwangi nyumbani because I was always out with the mom, checking on the mom in the hospital. The daughter ako pale, sometimes you have a conversation with the teacher. Teacher anakuambia huyu siku hizi amejinyamazia. Now you have to open up. I think one of the things that help us daktari is that we open up. We came public. This is the problem you are facing. This is the madness you are facing. By that time I was still working with Tala, and I can say thank you to the organization. And they really supported me during that time between work and checking on my wife. Ilinisaidia sana kufanya work balance, ilinisaidia sana. So pigo ilikuwa now immediately we were declared redundant. Now you are back at home.
Wow.
But I can say it was ilikuwa ni kama it was a journey that God had planned, because hiyo season sasa amekuja akakuwa mgonjwa kabisa, so I needed to be there 24 hours to check on her. It was not about now looking for money and how to make money. Bilani amesema cancer is so expensive in terms of treatment. What's up? Lazima ujianike. Unaona? But I salute my friends. They came through. Nilikuwa build a capacity of friends. I built a lot of relationship. They came through kunijulia hali, kusimama na mimi. Arambe tulikuwa nazo. People think that when you have around 2 million or 1.5 million is enough to treat. Because I remember at that time when I was working, I used to have an insurance cover for around 1.5. But inaisha. Arambe tulifanya ikaisha. Because this person needs special meal. This person needs to do the test. Tests are very expensive, around 6,000 euros a dam before you go. Biopsy is there. You have to travel. You used to travel from Nakuru to Mpisha to come for treatment.
Wow.
It's really expensive. Then sometimes now she had some own issues zile za kiafya. So kuna special meal lazima atumie, and you have to purchase them. So the journey of treatment of cancer has been so hectic in us.
And once again, thank you for being so strong as a caregiver and being there for your wife. What are the do's and don'ts of cervical cancer when you've been diagnosed? What can you do and what can't you do?
So whenever you've been diagnosed, the first thing is please go home. Go to the hospital.
Yes.
You know, I have a lot of patients, and this I say from having seen hundreds of patients who say, and there's this very common myth, that if a metal touches my cervix, if I get a biopsy done, the cancer will grow. But you know, that is something when you go early, the treatment outcomes, even for us, even for the patients, are good. We're happy to treat. But when a patient goes away, we've had patients who come and then disappear for months, come back with very advanced disease. And yes, some of the issues like Silas mentioned are all to do with finances, access to treatment, the stigma, what people say, you know, and this is what prevents our women from coming. So one of the things you need to do is please come to hospitals. Health insurances are there, but also currently we do have SHA that goes a long way in helping our patients access some of the treatments, you know. The other thing is know where you can capitalize and use to the maximum your insurance or SHA. Currently, we are hoping soon that we have patient navigation programs and finance programs that will at least help patients to navigate the healthcare system and where the bills are not so much. Because yes, financial toxicity, the distress that comes with this is very real.
For sure.
So this is something we need to do. Know where you have to go and seek care early.
Okay.
Don't stay at home.
Don't stay at home.
Don't
Seek
stay
care
at home.
early. Just ignore the stigma, because at the end of the day, it is your health that is at risk. Thank you so much again for coming to the show. We are going to take a very short break, but don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back. If you've just tuned in, this is the Health and Wellness Show, and my name is Chabet Birir. Today we are talking about cervical cancer, and before we took a break, we were talking about the do's and don'ts while undergoing treatment for cervical cancer. And now I want us to understand better intimacy while you are on treatment for cervical cancer. How was it for you, or how is it for you now, Veronica? And then Silas, you'll also explain to us, how it was for you with your wife. And then Daktari will also explain to us Is it possible? Can you do it? Can you not? Veronica, karibu tena.
Intimacy tulikaa sana venye wali discover niko na cancer. Tuliskip yo nini part. Then after nili discover niko na mimba. Sasa hapo lazima muendelee ndivyo njia ifunguke, but si kuenda normal delivery. Nilienda CS. Treatment venye nilimaliza nini black therapy. Singeweza hata very painful.
Yeah, brachytherapy.
Black therapy. Unabiongwa kae 2 weeks na daktari, then you continue with your partner, but ni hard kwa mtu mwenye ametoka kwa hiyo process. Unasikia tu uchungu, then kuna blood stain, then after there kuna discharge bado inatoka na kusumbua sana. Sasa ikaona wacha tu ni skip, lakini bado tulikuwa tunajaribu pole pole. Hata saa hii bado kwangu ni uchungu kwangu. Bado hiyo discharge bado inatokanga. After intimacy the following day unakana hiyo discharge na kusumbua, but kama went through that process na mzee wako uko clean, hakuna kitu inakusumbua manini. But mimi kwangu nakuanga ile fear. Yes, ni my husband na lazima ni take care of my husband, but kwangu ni fear. Hata nikimwona tu usiku ameingia na nashtuka. Nashinda sasa, akaniambia tena usiku sasa. Unasikia tu kuna ile uoga, but yeye ni mtu understanding. Ndio amekuwa na mimi through that journey. Pia daktari alimuongelesha sana kwanga patient kwangu. Nikimwambia no, yeye unistick na tu na no. But lazima niangalie both side, marriage na head. Yeah.
So it is
lazima ni balance.
It is a very tricky balance.
Ni tricky. Yeah.
Okay. Silas, how about you?
Our journey after the diagnosis, that was 2004, up to the time she had her last breath, to quite be intimate, because I was understanding from my point of view how she was and her health issues. So I was looking at somebody who is vulnerable and also somebody who needs help. So after you just having that thought, it was not even forthcoming. Ingekam haiwezi because unaangalia the journey, unaona vile yuko na we kama binadamu, even if wanasema kama binadamu, sometimes unafika mahali na the love is being tested sasa. It's ile vows tunasemanga ile
for better for
worse. So I think we made it on hold until the last time she took the blood. It was also comfortable to her.
Yes.
Because she was not ready. She was not ready as a woman, and given she had circumstances, alafu alikuwa issue yake ya health ilikuwa stable. Nani ako much better, hata mtawezi kujua.
Yes.
But then you are well, but my wife jani yake ilikuwa hectic because she was like after 2 weeks we are in and out of hospital.
And I saw the video,
so the journey was like that for 2 years mfululizo. So arunge kama ali ungefikiria stories za kuwa intimate na yeye. And I really thank God for that.
And thank you for being understanding. And also Veronica, it's good you are blessed with an understanding husband. Now daktari, tueleze why is it difficult to be intimate with your partner while undergoing treatment for cervical cancer?
It is quite difficult, actually, intimacy during that period, because the treatment itself causes a lot of side effects as well. Let's talk about surgical treatment. Sometimes surgical treatment the surgical management would remove part of your vagina. So that in itself causes some dysfunction, some sexual dysfunction in both the women and as well as the men, you see, because when you're it becomes really painful. The other aspect is when we're going to radiotherapy. Radiotherapy, basically, we give it to the pelvic area, meaning the area where your vagina is, your cervix is. So when we do that, what happens is one of the side effects is vaginal stenosis, meaning in simple terms, it causes closure of your vagina and upper part of your
uterus.
Basically cervix, and then upper part of your vagina. So it's very, very painful for any couple to be intimate during that period. But having said that, sexual health is another very important part that we need to consider and integrate and take couples through it. And this is where, from the word go, thank you again to Silas and to your husband for being very supportive and walking through this journey with with her and him walking with you. Because we do see, particularly in Kenya, we do see, again, due to the stigma, a lot of partners would abandon their
partners.
Yes. So we see a lot of females, their partners have disappeared just because of even the sexual health part, you know. So when we have an understanding partner who's coming, we walk them through what is expected, what should be done. Particularly after treatment, yes, there's something known as pelvic rehabilitation. So when we come to radiotherapy, after radiotherapy, once the vagina is closed, we would start dilatation, meaning we start opening the vagina slowly. This is usually done with the help of dilators. I know these are some things that we hesitate to talk about, or we don't speak about, but we need to make this the norm. You know, women are going through a lot, and so are their partners. Let me not ignore that. Even their partners go through a lot. So these are things we need to routinely integrate that helps the woman open up her vagina slowly from 2 to 4 weeks onwards after her treatment. And so as she goes on, the pelvic rehabilitation through the physiotherapy will allow her to see how they can be intimate and moving forward. So these are things that we need to understand. The other thing is radiotherapy, or sometimes even the surgical treatment, will remove the ovaries, or radiotherapy sterilizes the ovaries. Now when you sterilize the ovaries, what actually happens is you're inducing menopause, either a surgical menopause or radiotherapy induced menopause. But unfortunately, because of the tumor and the stage, it is a necessary part of the treatment. And so when a woman goes into menopause, now not only the stenosis part comes in, also the issues with the menopause come in, such as vaginal dryness, the mood swings, issues to do with just not being able to, can I say, a lot of women are not able to feel the urge to have intercourse. And this is where we need the partners to understand. So these are things we need to integrate in our management. And yes, when you go to the oncology clinics and post-treatment, you go to the physiotherapy clinics, this is what you're taught, and this is how we walk our patients through this journey.
And again, also, thank you, Dr. Frin. We've talked about cervical cancer several times, but we've never got to this point where we actually talk about intimacy while undergoing treatment for cervical cancer. So I think this will be very good for someone who is undergoing treatment. And it is not all doom and gloom, you know, after the treatment, you can resume intimacy. But it's also important for partners to be understanding to their wives, and yes, I'd say wives because I don't advocate for premarital sex. Okay, so Veronica, now you've gotten a child, you said ulipata stigma, watu walikusema vibaya after umepata mtoto while undergoing treatment. How did you feel and how did you overcome that?
By the nilikuwa too much okay.
Ulikuwa okay? Ulikuwa ushaita mkutano? Nilikuwa
nimeadapt kila kitu.
Yes.
Lakisema ilikuwa tu yangu inapita tu, mimi naendelea na maisha yangu. Because hata hakuna, ukisema uweke watu hapa kwa kando yako, watakupoteza. This is my life.
Yes.
Na watoto wangu.
Yes.
Kwa hivyo nisipoti mimi mwenyewe, nijipende. Ni take care of myself. Hakuna mtu atakuja kunisaidia.
That is very true.
Ni mimi mwenyewe peke yangu. Lazima nijipatie nguvu. Nguvu yenyewe ilikuja kama wenye niliambiwa niko na mimba. Ilikuwa furaha kwangu. Yeah. Ndio nilikuwa na mtoto mmoja.
Yes.
Niliuliza Mungu venye nilipata kansa, nikamuuliza, instead unipatie mtoto umenipatia ugonjwa. Lakini nikakuja kulia yenye unaomba Mungu ndiye anakupeanga finally. Ndio nilikuwa kwa treatment, nilipata mimba. Kwa hivyo ilikuwa a blessing, si curse kwangu. Ilikuwa a blessing, na lazima ningefunguliwa njia na Mungu. Nione kwenye naendelea, si kwenye nimetoka. Sikutaka kuangalia past yenye nilikuwa nayo. Nilikuwa lazima ni focus na present yangu na future yangu na watoto wangu.
So wewe uli block the noise na ukafocus, and I think that's why you really are strong at saizi. That's a good thing.
Na nikajipenda. Nilijipenda by the way. Na kitu kingine sikutaka kusikiza nini. Kitu kingine stress. Stress by the way. Stress ni mbaya sana mtu ako na cancer.
Pengine utuambie tu ni nini ulikuwa unaambiwa sana. Nini uzo ulikuwa unasikia ndio ukasema hii nita block?
Wenye walijua niko na cancer waliniambia sitamaliza 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah, 3 months.
This was 2022.
Yeah, 2022.
Na saini 2025.
Yeah.
2026.
I'm still pushing. Lazima nifike ile Mungu amesema, kiwango ya Mungu. Yeah.
Amen. Maneno gani mengine ulisikia?
Maneno mingi nilisikia. Venye tulifanya harambee, venye nilisasa nilienda. Unajua therapy ni very expensive. kwa kila ndio nilikuwa naenda session 25 each and every day. Kwa hivyo mamangu akaona hiyo pesa hana, sasa lazima mfanye harambee kidogo. By the way watu walijitokeza, lakini haikuwa vile nilikuwa na tarajia. Lakini nili appreciate kila mtu mwenye alikuja na akanisupport. Sasa hapo ndio sasa stigma sasa ilinigonga kabisa, lakini bado nilikuwa too strong. Ndio nilikuwa nakuja kuangalia mtu mwenye ako kwa kitanda ni very weak, but walipata mtu mwenye ni very strong, healthy. Sasa walikuwa wananiuliza mgonjwa ako wapi? Naambia ni mimi. Kwa nini? Ukai mtu mgonjwa. Kansa ni nenda inafanya ufilisike na kwa
vile watu wamezoea.
Wamezoea. Nikaambia hapana. Cancer ni treatable and curable by the way.
Yes.
As long you love yourself, take care of yourself. Na venye daktari anakuambia fanya hivyo. Na usikuwe na stress yoyote. Na usikuwe mtu anakuambia fanya hivi vero kunywa hii ama. Ni walikuwa wananiambia kila siku. Wewe kunywa hivi, tumia hii ama nilikuwa naambia hapana. Daktari wangu aliniambia nifanye hivi. Na hiyo ndio nita stick nayo. Juu daktari wangu wa nyumbani ni wabaya, hakuna kukupoteza badala ya wakusaidie.
Daktari wa mitishamba. Sawa. Asante Veronica. Veronica anasema it is very important to follow the doctor's advice. Usifuate ya wale quacks kule nyumbani. Sasa Silas tueleze, and I want you to also advise men out there because cervical cancer affects women. So what would you say is the role of men, not just as partners but also as fathers, brothers, and society at large? What would you say the role that men can play in supporting women who are undergoing treatment?
I think it's most important is to speak out, because the buck stops with men, as how God.
You're the leaders.
You are the leader. Vile God initiate everything. Yes. So a man should protect, a man should provide, a man should lead. No. So if you are not going to lead your family in the right way, not only you are first family, but when you are outside there as a man, you are a leader. With the society or a view, you are a leader. So if the only thing you can advocate to, the only thing you can do to you is mislead the young girls, because to say men are the carriers. Doctor, you just need to open your
Ataongea about you.
Men are the carriers of HPV. So it depends on wewe mwenyewe unajitunza namna gani as a man. Wewe kila shimo unatembea ama unajitunza kama binadamu. Unaona? Because there umebarikiwa, you have a wife. You as a man should be faithful to your wife. No, because the moment you're moving outside the marriage, you are opening up an opportunity for the monster to come inside the house. And also when it comes also to men, the only thing I can say that now cervical cancer, the way it is, men should be in the leading front, because it is affecting their girls, it is affecting also their daughters, it's also affecting their children. So I think one of the things the men should be doing is, we are also having a campaign next week. We are doing, I think next week, we are trying to push awareness. The same thing that has talked about the issue to do with vaccination. Yes. We are educating our young girls that this thing is good. Do it when they are still young. Prevention is better. Go for these checks rather than wait and later then waza kusema I wish ningeona. And also when it comes to men, supporting your wife is the main thing, because that's how society watakuview. Because this person, the moment they get diagnosed as a woman, most of them they go back to their caves. Wanajikalia vile amesema, you go back to your cave, because society itakujudge based on your past. Itakujudge based on who you are. But you as a man, you come out stronger, unakaa mbele pale. So zile mishale ambayo mama yako bibi yako anapata, it hits you first. So you become the protector of your family. When it comes to the issue of finances, you are the one who is pushing for them. When it comes to issue of attending those doctors' visitation, you are the one who is pushing for them. You are on the front gear rather than kukaa pale backbench unaenda kusema unatafuta bibi wa pili. Ukitafuta bibi wa pili, you have not just solved the problem is still there. No. This is somebody's daughter, this is your wife. So the most important thing as a man, be on the leading front. And also we are calling upon also in the churches. I think in the religious society, this issue should be this issue should be articulated very clear, even in churches. I think even education, kama tungekuwa na uwezo, this thing should be done even at early education. It should be part of the education system, syllabus, because people should learn. about these things. Even young girls, they should know about the risk they're taking when, if they are going to be active when they're still young before they reach the age of maturity to get married. So I think these are the things most of us, when we were growing up, were being swept under the table. No, under the table. Nobody wanted to speak about it. Sindio? Watu kumtu anaongea story kayo. But now society is moving in a place where tuongee. Hii kitu inakuanga hivi. Uambie msichana wako unajua ukicheza na maboy, this is what will happen. Either you'll get HIV, you'll get cervical cancer because you'll be picking from different men. These are things we should be speaking out. And men, when the men leads, I think the society will be much better. For sure. But the society is suffering because we are having weak men. So as men, they should stand out, they should speak out. Wasiongoze tu pale kwa bar. Ndio eti mnachafua meza. Hapana, chafua meza ya nyumba yako by advocating for the right virtues in a society.
Very good insights there, Silas. Asante sana. Men should lead. Aya, Daktari. Now we are coming to the preventive measures, and I want you to talk about three things. One is Veronica talked about brachytherapy, and I understand that there was the launch of the National Cervical Cancer Elimination Plan 2026 to 2030. Brachytherapy, I spoke to one of a lady who is undergoing treatment, and she said it is very uncomfortable. So is there a way, or are there advancements to make such invasive treatments more comfortable? And also now HPV, how effective is it, and why is there a lot of stigma around it? Why don't parents want to take their children to vaccinate against HPV? And lastly, why should boys also be vaccinated against HPV?
All right, thank you. Those are good questions. Let's start with brachytherapy. Unfortunately, at the moment, brachytherapy has to be a part of the treatment to give complete radiation. So I'll just give you a brief overview of what radiotherapy includes. So radiotherapy part includes both chemo and radio part of it, and the radiation initially is given externally for the first 25 days, and which 25 to 28 days, in which the patient usually goes every day from Monday to Thursday with a break in between. This goes on for 5 to 6 weeks, and then we give the patient a few days break, and then we start the internal radiation. So the internal radiation is necessary for us to give the maximum radiation that is required for treatment of cervical cancer. Without it, we cannot complete our treatment optimally. Yeah. The other thing is, yes, we have provisions. We do the insertion. So brachytherapy is basically radiotherapy that we would insert some instruments through the vagina into the uterus and the cervix, around the cervical region. So this then deliver radiation. Of course, currently we have good, or can I say we're using high dose radiation, where you do it over 1 hour, and it's before we would keep these instruments in place for 24 hours, which was very painful. So it has evolved a lot, treatment. If I look back in the olden days, historically, what we were doing, and currently what we're doing, it's much better. And most of the tandems are usually inserted under anesthesia, local anesthesia. So we give that to patients so that they can feel a little more comfortable. Yes, the process is quite uncomfortable, and these are usually 3 or 4 sessions depending on what the maximum dose is required. So it is an unnecessary evil, but it is required.
And very painful.
And very, very painful,
Very
yes.
painful. Yeah, I remember, her name is Praxidis. She said it's actually more painful than giving birth.
Yeah. Yes.
I've given
Yeah,
birth.
kitu ni
So
chungu.
if there's something that's more painful than giving birth,
Black
then
therapy.
it surely is very painful.
I think just to cut shorter, that was one of the things that really ilipatia mke wangu a lot of stress. And she had a lot of fear. And nazasema, as a husband, sometimes I feel that I let her down.
I don't,
because the information that Dr. is giving us, we didn't have. No. So things happen so fast, Dr. By the time tunamaliza chemo, radiation, nobody has the idea of what is happening. Unaambiwa to the process. I think one of the things that I can say will help the society moving forward is this conversation should happen before even they start. a husband or somebody's a caregiver should be there, then they'll be taken through all this process, so these people can be prepared psychologically. My wife was strong, but akifikiria those kind of process, she was like, no, this one. I think that's the reason why the cancer had ilirudi, because that
delay
treatment ilimu affect sana. Alikuwa anaogopa, she had fear, and I think I can say hatukuwa in a position kumuelewa or to understand what she was going through.
But I think you did your best, so don't feel like you lost or you let her down. I think you did what you could then. So now, for now, the information that you get, don't regret. I think you now use it to advocate for advocacy and just helping to shed light about it. And you're doing a good job. You're posting on social media about it. You're sharing on WhatsApp. So uko tu sawa. Usikwe discouraged. So Vero, sasa tuko na about very few minutes. I want us to do our parting shots. Tuanze nawe Vero, tuende kwa Silas, alafu tumalizia na daktari. Maybe your advice to someone who has just been diagnosed with cervical cancer or any other type of cancer.
Advice yangu itaenda most kwa women, waende wascreeniwe early. Ikijektiwa mapema ni preventable vizuri sana. Wasiogope, most of them wanaogopanga kwenda screening. Screening si painful. Screening bado ni inasaidia wamama wengi sana. Kuna mama nilisaidia by the way. Nilisaidia sana na ako very happy kwangu. Ndio nilimsaidia akapatikana kuna cancer, akaenda through process yote, nimemshikilia mkono bado. Na saizi amemaliza treatment na kwa nyumba.
Asante sana for the good job that you are doing. So go for early screening. Na ukiwa umediagnoziwa usi give up.
Don't give up. Hapana.
Kama Veronica sahi.
Endelea na maisha yako kama kawaida.
Asante sana Veronica.
Thank you.
Silas.
My last parting shot naweza sema, first of all, nashukuru to my friends, family, relatives, the extended family, and also my workmates nilikuwa nazo currently pia wenye wako nayo. Walistand na mimi during that time. The season was hard. Mungu awabariki. May God increase you. My last thing ni kusema tu kwamba as a man or as a husband, you have a role to play. Usi sit behind, be on the front chair. Speak out. Let's support our women. Let's support our society. Let's see on our way to our plate. And burnout is normal. When it comes to caregiving, it's not easy. Feel stress, anxiety zitakuwa, feel depressed. Find somebody mwenye unaweza ongea na yeye, akushikilia, akutembee na wewe, kama ni church, kama ni mtu yote. Usikae peke yako, because bado niko na that problem up to now. Sleeping, I cannot get sleep because during that time akiwa mgonjwa unalala kidogo, unaamka unashtuka, still have problem of getting enough sleep. So I came to realize that when you start experiencing such issues, get somebody, get a therapy,
talk to
somebody, usikufe peke yako, because those ideas itakuwa mingi kwa mind yako.
Okay, asante sana Silas, and again thank you. So if you're a man, play your role, don't fear. Go the harder route, which is better than going the easier way of abandoning your partner or just sitting behind and waiting for things to just happen. Finally, Daktari.
My message is to everyone, please, let's pick up vaccination. Let's screen all our boys and girls. Of course, our primary group is the girls, but if where possible, let's screen all our boys and girls. And let's not lay blame. And then screening can save a lot. Both these strategies can save lives that we lose unnecessarily. And I know the stigma, the most common thing that I hear women say is, I don't want to go because it's a very intimate exam. Right now we have accessibility to self-sampling tests, where you use the HPV and you're given something and you're told, go and test yourself, and then you bring me the sample. So, this maintains your privacy and you're able to screen. So please, let's not let any woman die from this cancer. Pick up the screening and vaccinate our children.
Okay. Thank you, Daktari. With the technological advancements, it is possible to prevent, treat and cure cervical cancer. All right. Thank you so much, Veronica, Silas, and Dr. Afrin, for coming to the show and for sharing very good insights about cervical cancer. I hope you will come again. Thank you so much.
Asante.
All right, that's it from us today. Have yourself a lovely evening. My name is Chebet Birir.